Hi, I'm Allison Moore and I'm going to be teaching how to graph some sinusoidal functions. So the first one that I have up on the board here is y equals 2 cosine x minus pi over 3 plus 1. So I always like to start with an x and y table. And our typical values for a cosine function is going to start with 0, pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, and 2 pi. And then for cosine, it's going to start with a 1, 0, -1, 0, and back to 1. Okay, so from here, I'm actually going to just continue going left and right for our x values and our y values when we do all these transitions. So I'm going to start with our y values. And we see up here, it has a 2 in front of our cosine, and that differs from the parent function of a cosine function. And I'm going to start by taking this 2 and multiplying all the y values by it. So this will be y times 2. So 1 times 2 is 2, 0, -2, 0, and 2. Then the last part to figure out the y value is adding this plus 1. That's going to go on to our y value. So this is another plus 1. So 2 plus 1 is 3. And 1, then -2 plus 1 is -1, and then 1 and 3. So those are going to be our final y values. I'm going to star it so I can remember it. Then on the left side, we have to focus on the x's. Here, there's nothing in front of this x, so we don't have to multiply it by anything, but we do have this minus pi over 3. So when we have a minus sign, that actually means it moves to the right, which means we're actually going to add pi over 3 to each of our x values. So I'll do this over here. So 0 plus pi over 3 is just pi over 3. Pi over 2 plus pi over 3, they don't have the same denominator, so I'm going to cross multiply this and do 3 pi over 6 plus 2 pi over 6, and that's 5 pi over 6. And then pi plus pi over 3, still not the same denominator, so I'm going to make them the same by doing 3 pi over 3. That's going to equal 4 pi over 3. And then 3 pi over 2 plus pi over 3, do the same thing and cross multiply it. So we've got 9 pi over 6 plus 2 pi over 3, and that's going to equal 11, oops, sorry, I meant this as a 6. It's going to be 11 pi over 6. And then our last one is 2 pi plus pi over 3. And then they're still not the same, so that's going to be a 6 pi over 3 plus pi over 3 equals 7 pi over 3. I'm going to add all of these over to our x side, and then those are going to be what we end up plotting. So let me just move them over. We've got x plus pi over 3, pi over 3, 5 pi over 6, 4 pi over 3, 11 pi over 6, and 7 pi over 3. Okay, I'll just erase these and then go ahead and graph it. So when we graph it, we're going to want to figure out our x values. And since we're doing it in over 6's, I'm going to do it by, we'll start with 0. Let's make this pi over 3, which means this one was going to be pi over 6. And we've got 2 pi over 3 and pi. We have 4 pi over 3, 5 pi over 3, 2 pi, let me just do one more, 7 pi over 3. Okay, and then I'm just going to go up 5 and down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. -1, -2, -3, -4. Okay, so our x values are going to be these ones over on the right, y values all, or sorry, this is the left, and then y values over on the right. So let's start with pi over 3, which is right here, and go up to 3 and plot it. Next is 5 pi over 6, which is going to be, oh, let me think, right here. That goes to 1. The next is 4 pi over 3, and that one's negative 1. So I'm going to just make a big dot over here. Then 11 pi over 6 is going to be right here, and that's back to 1. And then 7 pi over 3 is back to 3. And then you can connect the dots. And then we know that these go up and down. So that's the cosine function. And then the next one I have up here is a sine function, which is just a little bit more difficult. Let me put that here, y equals sine. So again, I'm going to start with my x and y. Will still be 0, pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, and 2 pi. For a sine, it starts with the 0, go up, go back down, keep going down, and back up. Okay, then from here, I'm still gonna just do my y values first. So I have a -2 here, which also means it's going to reflect over the x-axis, but I'm gonna multiply that to all of my y values first. So y times -2. That's still 0, it's -2, that's 0, +2, and 0. The last part for the y's is I'm going to subtract 3 to each of these. So we've got -3, -5, -3, -1, and back to -3. For our x values, this is where it's a little bit trickier because we have the 1/2 directly attached to the x. I'm going to take that away. So over here, I'll do that. Sine. Okay, so I want to take that 1/2 out. So I'm left with x plus pi over 3. And then I still have that -3. Okay, so from here, first I want to deal with this 1/2. Whenever we have something in front of this x, we need to take all the x values and divide it by that. So x divided by 1/2 is the same thing as x times 2. So I'm going to multiply all of these by 2. So we still have 0, pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, and 4 pi. Okay, then the last part is going to be adding pi over 3 to each one of these. So let me take a moment to do that. We have 3 pi over 3 plus pi over 3 equals 4 pi over 3. And then we have, oh, sorry, that one goes down below. 4 pi over 3. 0 plus pi over 3 is just pi over 3. And then from there, we're going to add a pi to each one. So adding pi to each of these, we're just going to add 3 pi over 3 to each of our answers. So that's going to be 7 pi over 3, 10 pi over 3, and 13 pi over 3. Then the last thing we have to do is just graph these two sides, and I can make a little graph right over here. So I'm going to go by, let's see, I want to go by each pi over 3. So let's do pi over 3 here, 4 pi over 3, 7 pi over 3, 10 pi over 3, and 13 pi over 3. And then we only stay in the negative, so I'm just going to keep it down here. -1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Pi over 3 is at -3. And then we go down to -5, back to -3, to -1, and back down to -3. And then we just graph sinusoidal function. And that is it.